Hello and welcome to my channel. I am Ali, and in this video I'm going to be showing you a way to store the bandwidth data of a FortiGate firewall in Elasticsearch. Then in a later video I'm going to be using the timeline tool in Kibana to plot the bandwidth graphs. The purpose of doing this is to have accurate bandwidth graphs for longer periods of time if you want to take advantage of Elasticsearch capability of storing and searching on data. And the way I will be doing this is with a Raspberry Pi here in my home lab. I will be running a Python script doing API requests to the FortiGate and getting that bandwidth data and then send it over UDP to a socket, so an IP port combination, to a server running Logstash. And with Logstash, I will use the UDP input plugin to receive that data, parse it, and then send it to Elasticsearch. Now, this tutorial is a little bit of a specific use case, but you can take the different components of this tutorial to apply it in your environment. I'm using, for example, a Raspberry Pi to run a Python script. You can use any other machine or any other scripting language as long as you can send an API GET request to the firewall or to any other appliance you want to get the bandwidth from and send it to Logstash and from Logstash to Elasticsearch. So when you log into the FortiGate firewall, this is the main dashboard. If you're not familiar with it, you can add widgets on the main dashboard, and one of these widgets here is the interface bandwidth. You can pick the interface you want to monitor and it will start plotting the bandwidth in this time range, or you can pick 24 hours or 1 week and it will start plotting the inbound or downloads and the upload bandwidth. In the API URL that we will be using, it is the IP address of the firewall, and then under API version 2 monitor, it's under system traffic history interface, and we're going to pick the interface name and the time period of 1 hour, as exactly as right here, as in this visualization. And you will get a result something similar like this. You'll get a list of TX values and RX. Inside one of these we have 300 dictionaries. Inside the dictionary is the bandwidth in bits per second and the timestamp in UTC milliseconds. And we have 300 values because we have an hour range here and it updates every 12 seconds. So if it updates every 12 seconds, you will have 300 values in this 1 hour. This is what we get. And these lists here, TX and RX, but the value I'm interested in is the last TX and the last RX, which is at the bottom right here. This is the latest bandwidth inbound and outbound. So I'm going to be using those. I'm going to be grabbing those from the API response and send it to Logstash. And I'm going to show you here my script. I'm not going to waste time on building the script from scratch. So I imported requests and JSON and the datetime to create a timestamp and the socket to be able to send it to a UDP socket. And then I just created it as a function. There are many other ways. And I run the API request and I grab the data. From the data I create a variable, I call it last TX, which grabs the last transmitted bandwidth value, and the last RX value. Timestamp, I'll create a timestamp and I'll put them all together in a dictionary, and I will send it as a JSON object and convert it to binary with this .encode UTF-8, and then I will create a socket object and then use the send to method to be able to send to this specific IP address. And this IP address is the server that is running Logstash. So I will send this data to Logstash on this IP and this UDP port. And then on Logstash, before Logstash, on the Raspberry Pi, I made the script run as a service. So I created a service to run every 5 seconds, and it will run this command, which will run that script for me. After that, I enable it, I did a daemon reload, enable this service, and start it. And now if I go to my ingest server under etc logstash conf.d, and you can create a conf file, and there are 3 sections in Logstash. So the input plugins, the filter plugins, and the output. Right now I'm just going to be using the UDP plugin, input plugin. I'll specify the host IP and the port it wants to receive data on. No filters yet. And then the output is just std out, so that we can see the data on the console. And I'm going to be running Logstash via the command line and specify the file, -f, etc logstash conf.d bandwidth. So the Raspberry Pi is running the script as a service every 5 seconds. So I will be able to see that here on the console when I run Logstash. UDP listener died. Oh, error. IP address invalid address error. Invalid address 192.1. Oh. I made a mistake with the IP address here. We'll run Logstash again. Okay, so the UDP tells you here, summary, the UDP listener started, and now I'm receiving the data. This is one event. This is what we're going to start cleaning up in Logstash. So there's always a timestamp. This is when the data was received. And the message, it has the last TX, last RX, and a timestamp in milliseconds. We can get rid of that. We can get of event original. We're going to be parsing message, and the host IP, we don't need that. This is where it is coming from. So I can go duplicate session, and to see the changes automatically applied on the console, you'll have to run the command with -r. So I will be editing the configuration file on this side here, and I will see how it changes. Now I can see the values inside the message, being parsed in this way. So the time, the last Rx and the last TX and the last Rx, and everything else I will get rid of it. So next I'm gonna remove the fields that I don't need. For example, this field, the version of the document, event original, I don't need that. The message, because I already parsed them up here, and the timestamp, because I'm going to use the time that I sent with my data. So I'll add timestamp, and we will create another timestamp. I'll go back and see when this updates how my data looks. Okay, it is very clean right now. I only have last TX, time, and last RX. And now I'm going to be using the date filter plugin to match the time in Unix format, and I'm going to set the time zone to UTC and the target to timestamp. This is different than the timestamp that we deleted before. This is the new timestamp that I sent with the event. Let's see how it looks now. Okay, looks good. I have a new timestamp field that is ready to be sent to Elasticsearch. I don't need this one, so I will remove it. So I added the Elasticsearch output plugin settings here. I specified the hosts, the ILM enabled, I say true, ILM pattern, ILM policy. So I created a policy, and then I created a template pointed to that policy, and then I created the first index, the first write index, and I have another video explaining how to use ILM with Logstash, and then the username and the password, SSL, the CA cert. I'm gonna stop printing to the console, and I will save the configuration file. And now I will, before I start Logstash as a service, I need to add this to the pipeline's YAML file. Just gonna say it's the new pipeline ID, bandwidth, pipeline, path.config. And it is this configuration file. And now when I run Logstash as a service, it will look at the pipeline's YAML file and will see my configurations. Okay, Logstash is running. I will wait for a bit until we receive some actual data. UDP listener started, pipelines running. I have 2 pipelines running. Create a data view in Kibana. I'll go to Discover and see the data that I okay, and I started receiving the data in Kibana. I can open one of these documents. There are very small documents, very small logs coming in. It only each document only has the timestamp, the last RX, last TX. And in the next video, I will be using the timeline in Kibana to plot the bandwidth graphs from this index. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more of these tutorials. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.